I'm here with Rossie Hutchinson, and it's so nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you.
You're from my favorite part of the United States besides where I live.
The Midwest, yes.
The Midwest. Wisconsin first, and now Ann Arbor.
Yes.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about you and your quilt making.
I've been quilting for about 12 years, and the first quilt I made was, I just made my own pattern, my own design. I didn't really think of that as being rebellious or that I was, doing anything unexpected, but that was just how I went. And the second quilt I made was from a pattern, and then I think that it was a good 10 years before I made another from a pattern. I just love improvisational quilting and doing my own thing.
And that's what this is here, right?
Yes, this is a quartered log cabin, and it's done improvisationally.
So you did not take any classes. You have basically zero training as you started to become a quilt maker.
My mother sews.
Oh, okay.
And so I had seen her make dresses and things, and there was a sewing machine in the house, so I was aware of that and learned how to sew.
It wasn't a foreign object or anything like that?
No, absolutely. You see people sometimes at intro classes and they're not even sure like where to look or where to put their hands on a sewing machine, but I definitely had that literacy going for me. And my grandma didn't quilt when I was a child, but when I was in high school, she took a quilting class and learned to quilt. And decided to make a quilt for each of her grandchildren. She has a dozen grandchildren, or had a dozen grandchildren. And so I was aware, there were people around me that were like, not so much teaching me, but like role models of this is a thing you can do.
Well, Jean Wells calls it teaching by osmosis. That with Valerie and her daughters, just around the whole thing. And even my daughter, she's not a quilter, but she knows the craft, she knows the art. Well, she's made one or two quilts.
Yeah.
So what are you teaching here at QuiltCon this year in 2016?
So yesterday I taught an intermediate improv class. This is one of the sample quilts for it. There are 3 sample quilts, and I sort of go through how each of them is constructed, and the students learn each of the 3, and then they are let loose to sew as they please, and I consult with them as they go. We also have like a tutorial on color. That we do as part of that, because that's something people often talk to me about my quilts, is the use of color.
Right.
So people get sad if I leave it out, so I make sure to tell them what I know about using color. This evening, I'm teaching a class called The Joy of the Design Wall.
Okay, yes. I am always amazed when I hear a quilter doesn't have a design wall. You need one. And so how does that work, that class?
Well, it's going to be the first time that I've taught it as a standalone class.
Okay, you'll let me know tomorrow.
Right? It's been a module, like a lesson that's been part of other classes, like put this up, stand back, use your digital camera to look at it again, record and then shuffle and record and choose. So we'll see how it goes as a standalone class. I'm having them do actually a 4th improvisational pattern. It's called the Arnie quilt, and that's a pattern that's available on my website for people to buy. But it's real small blocks, and so they're going to kind of mass produce these blocks for me out of fabric that I brought, for me, but for themselves.
Right.
And then we're going to play.
So way back in the day, Nancy Crow said to me, if you want people to take you seriously about you being a quilter, claim your space. And she said, how often do you use your living room? Well, the guest bedroom got cleaned out that next day.
Yes.
You have claimed an awesome space. Tell everyone about it.
So my husband and I bought a house 2 years ago. It's on 10 acres of rolling hills, wooded land, and the people that built it had a father-in-law that was living with them in the house they were moving from. And they built their house, and then across the driveway is a detached garage with an apartment up above.
Yay! Right?
Yes.
Now you have made some dramatic changes there.
Yes. So when we bought the house was sold to us, subject to inspection.
Sure.
And that outbuilding was sold to us as is.
Oh my, how as is was it?
It was very as is. So we had the inspector look at it just to raise red flags for us. It wasn't going to affect.
Like, what are we into here?
Yeah. like, do we have to tear this down? Like, is the fact that I'm kind of excited about this and that my husband was like, yeah, let's make it your studio. Like, is that actually gonna happen? And he said, you need to put a new roof on it the day you move in. But he wasn't concerned about the foundation or anything like that. There was no water damage in there. So, yep, moved in, had to tear out, you know, well, we did tear out a wall that was in between what was the living room, and then there were closets, and then so just one.
So how big is it?
It is 13 by 24.
Ooh.
Yes.
And I love what you've done to the ceiling.
Yes. Yeah. That was one of those things where it was like I could have. So we've been in the house a year and a half, and I could have been in that studio much sooner if we hadn't done that to that ceiling. But once we took out the wall, and then there's this hole in the ceiling, it was like, wait, can we take out this?
So you just totally open it up, right?
Yeah, just totally. And it was like, it's going to be worth doing, because I've told my husband we're never moving again. So.
And you guys did it. It's not like you cracked out a checkbook for somebody else.
Well, we have paid other people to do some parts of it. So if you,
but the ceiling was tongue and groove, and your husband did it.
Yeah, my husband and I did it. We were both up there because it's 12-foot lengths. So you can't do it one person. You have to have a person on each end, and the air gun that you borrow from your neighbors. And yeah, it was an adventure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now you live in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and you teach there, but you also would love to travel and teach, right?
Absolutely.
And so where would a person find you?
My website is Rossie Crafts. So Rossie is spelled ROSSIE.com, and my contact information is right there. Some of my classes are like posted on the class page, but in general, anything you see me doing on the blog or know I've taught elsewhere, I
and it's definitely a blog to check out because you've got some really cool stuff there. You're very dedicated to your blog.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thanks so much for joining us today. I know that you're really busy teaching and all that, so whew, thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks.